This week isn't just big, it's game-changing. General Hospital.
The familiar hum of life in Port Charles never truly fades. In the bustling hallways of General Hospital, stories of love, heartbreak, loyalty, and betrayal weave together like threads in an intricate tapestry. And during the week of March 9th through March 13th, that tapestry grows richer. As beloved faces return, young characters step into the spotlight, and whispers of future arrivals stir excitement among longtime viewers. For fans who follow every twist and turn of Port Charles' life, the week promises emotional reunions, surprising discoveries, and the quiet beginning of storylines that may reshape the town forever. A quiet Monday in Port Charles, until it isn't. Monday begins gently enough. Morning sunlight filters through the tall windows of the hospital, casting warm reflections across polished floors. Doctors rush between patients, nurses exchange quick smiles, and the town awakens to another ordinary day. But in Port Charles, ordinary never lasts long. At a nearby cafe, young scout Cain sits across from her father, Drew Cain. The girl, played by Cosette Abinante, swings her feet beneath the chair, clutching a mug of hot chocolate. Drew, portrayed by Cameron Matheson, watches her carefully. "Everything okay at school?" he asks softly. Scout nods, though her eyes reveal something deeper. Life hasn't been simple for the Cain family lately. Conversations about custody have begun circulating around town. Adults whisper in corners, lawyers shuffle papers, and everyone seems to have an opinion. Scout doesn't understand all the details, but she feels the tension. "Dad," she finally asks, "are things going to change?" Drew pauses. For a man who has faced danger, betrayal, and impossible decisions, this question might be the hardest of all. "We're going to figure it out," he assures her gently. But in Port Charles, promises often lead to unexpected consequences. And this custody storyline is only beginning. Secrets in the shadows. Later that same day, another young resident of Port Charles stumbles upon something she was never meant to hear. Charlotte Cassadine, portrayed by Bluesy Burke, wanders through the halls of the mansion she calls home. Curiosity has always been Charlotte's defining trait. And today, curiosity leads her straight into trouble. Hidden just around a corner, she overhears a conversation, voices hushed but urgent. Names are mentioned, plans are hinted at, and suddenly Charlotte realizes something important is happening, something that could affect several powerful families in Port Charles. Her eyes widen. Should she tell someone, or keep the information to herself? In this town, knowledge can be power or danger. And Charlotte has just stepped into the middle of something much bigger than she realizes. A father and son reconnect. Tuesday brings another emotional moment. Across town, Danny Morgan, played by Asher Antonazan, prepares for a visit that always fills him with mixed feelings. His father is none other than the legendary mob enforcer turned protector of Port Charles, Jason Morgan. Jason's life has never been simple. Danger follows him everywhere. But when Danny walks into the room, something in Jason's hardened expression softens. "Hey, kid," Jason says. Danny grins. For a moment, the complicated world outside disappears. They talk about school, about life, about things fathers and sons talk about. Yet beneath the surface lies the truth. Jason's enemies are always watching. And being Jason Morgan's son can be both a privilege and a risk. Danny may be young, but he's starting to understand that. A familiar face at the hospital. Meanwhile, the corridors of the hospital welcome another returning figure. Dr. Navarro, portrayed by Kristina Ferraro, appears this week to treat a patient whose condition leaves doctors scrambling for answers. Inside the emergency room, tension rises. Machines beep urgently. Nurses rush to assist. Dr. Navarro studies the chart carefully. "This isn't a typical case," she murmurs. In a hospital where medical miracles and tragedies unfold daily, every new patient carries the possibility of a dramatic story. And this particular case may soon intertwine with the lives of several Port Charles residents. The next generation takes the spotlight. Port Charles has always been home to powerful families and dramatic romances. But the next generation is quietly growing into their own stories. This week, viewers see Rocco Falconeri, played by Finn Carr, sharing scenes with the brilliant and unpredictable Brit Westbourne. Rocco's curiosity and intelligence remind many of the adults who raised him. Brit, known for her sharp wit and complicated history, watches the young boy with a thoughtful expression. "You ask a lot of questions," she tells him. Rocco shrugs. "I like knowing how things work." Brit smiles slightly. In a town filled with secrets, asking questions can lead to unexpected discoveries. And Rocco might be closer to uncovering one than anyone realizes. Bonds of family. Elsewhere in Port Charles, another family moment unfolds. James West, played by Gary James Fuller, spends time with his father, Nathan West. For Nathan, these quiet moments mean everything. Life in Port Charles often moves at a frantic pace. Crimes, conspiracies, hospital emergencies. But sitting beside his son, Nathan feels something rare. Peace. They laugh, talk, and share stories. Yet longtime viewers know that happiness in Port Charles can sometimes be fragile. And when family bonds strengthen, the show often reminds us how precious those moments truly are. A new friendship begins. Meanwhile, the fashion magazine Crimson remains a hub of gossip, ambition, and intrigue. Inside the stylish offices, Jacinda Bracken, portrayed by Paige Herschel, continues carving out her place. Jacinda's work has brought her into contact with some of Port Charles's most influential figures. But this week, her growing friendship with Kristina Corinthos-Davis begins drawing attention. Their conversations start casually, discussions about work, life, and the pressures of living in such a dramatic town. But something about their connection feels genuine. Kristina, who has experienced her share of emotional struggles, seems to appreciate Jacinda's honesty. And Jacinda finds herself drawn into Kristina's world. In Port Charles, friendships often become alliances. And alliances can change everything. A thoughtful surprise. As the week approaches its end, a beloved figure returns. On Friday, Stella Henry, portrayed by Vernee Watson, arrives with gifts for someone special. Stella has always been known for her warmth, wisdom, and strong sense of family. Walking through the door, she carries beautifully wrapped packages and an even bigger smile. "I couldn't come empty-handed," she laughs. The room fills with joy. For a brief moment, the complicated stories of Port Charles pause to celebrate something simple, kindness. And sometimes, those small moments of warmth can be the most powerful of all. A return fans have been waiting for. Even with all the activity during the week, the biggest news is still on the horizon. In April, a familiar character will step back into Port Charles. Actor Nathan Dean is returning as Ethan Lovett. For longtime viewers, Ethan's name brings back memories of adventure, romance, and complicated family ties. He first appeared in 2009 and quickly became a fan favorite. After leaving in 2012, Ethan returned briefly several times, each appearance stirring excitement among viewers. Another actor, James Ryan, played the role during a short return in 2023. But now Nathan Dean is reclaiming the character once again, and fans are already buzzing with speculation. Why is Ethan coming back? What secrets might he bring with him? And which residents of Port Charles will his return affect the most? In this town, the arrival of a single character can trigger a chain reaction of drama. Port Charles never stands still. As the week of March 9th through March 13th unfolds, the people of Port Charles continue living lives filled with passion, conflict, and unexpected twists. Scout faces an uncertain future with her family. Charlotte holds onto a secret she may or may not reveal. Danny reconnects with his father. Doctors at the hospital battle a mysterious case. New friendships blossom. Old bonds grow stronger. And the promise of Ethan Lovett's return looms just beyond the horizon. For fans of General Hospital, these moments are more than just scenes in a television show. They're pieces of a world that has captured hearts for decades. A world where love can conquer darkness, where secrets eventually come to light, and where every new week brings another unforgettable chapter in the story of Port Charles. Because in this town, anything can happen next.